Hello, hello. Hey guys. Welcome back. All right. So, first off, I hope you guys have been having a lovely Thanksgiving if you've been celebrating it. We just got done with ours. And so, I wanted to pop on and get a chance to do a today's topic video. Also, guys, just FYI, these today's topic videos are the ones where you can enter to win. I leave comments on, and you can just type the word compassion in the comment section, and that gets you entered to win for next Monday. Also, just FYI, we'll be making a little announcement of something that we're adding in for the holiday season to celebrate. So anyway, I'll see you guys and give you that full update tomorrow. Hi, Chrissy. Hi, sweetheart. Have you taken off yet? Or are you just about to leave, babe? So great to see you. Escar, Angel Leo Girl, Myra J. So wonderful to see everybody. Awesome, Chrissy. I'm so glad that you arrived safely. Oh, I hope your trip is wonderful in Thailand. Jeannie Vale, the loud whisperer. Hi, everyone. All right, we have a Five of Pentacles. We are starting out this energy for the 28th with possibly a loss or a feeling of, I really would like these eggs to hatch. I really would like some things to, there could be somebody who has abundance, but it isn't like theirs yet. And that could be, a little frustrating or a little bit like, God, I'd really love this to happen. Now, with that rooster, roosters are really good at, calling in the sun. So this could herald a nice change. Fives are always numbers of change. So this could be a really positive symbol or sign. Somebody might hear a rooster crow. That could be something that they like the sound of. I personally do. I was raised with chickens, so I actually really love the sounds of them, even early in the morning. It's like music to me. It never bothered me. But hi, everyone. You guys are so awesome. Good to see you guys. We've got the devil sideways. Okay, hang on. What is happening here? It's not exactly bad, but it's not exactly good. We have somebody who's got some tension around them on the 28th, and it is because of a feeling of lack or it's a feeling of fear. We have the star sideways. There's the question mark of, will I get this hope, this wish, this dream? This could be somebody saying, will I have enough money? Have I budgeted properly? Will I have enough? It's like, I know there's more coming, but will I have it at the right time? That could be what we look at because it's a pentacle card. But now that we put in the star, I would not really go down that road. I feel like this is something different. This is obviously it's a wish. It's something that a character really wants to have occur for themselves. It could be an Aquarius. There could also be a Capricorn involved. This could be about relationship. This could be about anything in life that we desire. There's so many things that we want in this lifetime. Nine of Cups, we want to be happy. That's pretty much a universal thing, right? This is somebody who's like, in the year of the snake, will I get my happiness? Will this, and it's kind of like the snake is almost like in a figure eight or infinity pattern there. I just wonder if this is a character who's like, they're really wanting something right now and they're not sure if they're going to get it. And they know if they did, it would just be amazing. What is this? Is this about a person? Is this about an experience? Is this about, let's stay with this deck a little bit longer. I am really digging this deck. High Priestess, Strength card in the reverse. Okay, this could be about something that's been hidden. This could be they're waiting for results on something to come back. They don't know what the results are going to be. It could be, I want a message from a High Priestess. I want her to tell me, did she get the message? Did she read it? What does she think? This is, again, it's fear of the unknown. And yet there's all this buildup where if this goes well, it's going to be amazing. But oh God, what if it doesn't go well? So we have somebody on pins and needles on the 28th is what this boils down to. We have someone on pins and needles because they don't know what's the High Priestess going to say. Tell me about her. Who's our High Priestess? Seven of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles sideways. We have been getting a storyline. It's come up a couple different times in a couple different ways. And every time we get like a similar story thread, there's always like slightly different elements to it. Or if we for me anyway, when I have a story that keeps coming up over the course of a couple days, where it's like, okay, similar, but every time I tell it, every time the cards present, we get a little more of the story. And it's like, oh, okay, so we're getting snippets and we're getting a better understanding. And I kind of feel like this is connected to those stories we've been having lately, like someone reaching out, somebody who's, unexpectedly just like putting themselves out there, somebody who's trying to reconnect, somebody who's like sending a message or making that phone call or, driving to go see somebody. We've seen that for like the last, 24, 48 hours. That's been kind of a common thread in the more collective messages. And now it almost feels like we're seeing somebody who's like put out some effort and they're waiting and they're wondering with, breath bated, going, what's she going to do? What is the high priestess going to say? What is she going to do? Is she going to want to give? Does she need more time to think about this? If this is somebody who, excuse me, has wanted to connect to the high priestess, they may have made that attempt, made that run at it, and they've done their part. They've sent a message or they've, connected in whatever way they could. And now they're sitting there wondering with the devil and with the strength card in the reverse, what's going to happen? What is she thinking? They have no idea what she's thinking. Who is this high priestess to you character? The Tower, the Three of Swords, the person who has the power to crush me, crack me, topple me, the person who can break my heart, the person who I am humbling myself for and is going to burn me down if, she just breaks my heart. What is that song? So don't go breaking my heart. I won't go breaking your heart. Is that Elton John? Yeah, right? Or am I wrong? Am I tripping? We got that Page of Cups. They said sorry. This is the person that they said sorry to. Plain and simple. This is somebody that they wanted to say sorry to, and they've done it. And now that they've done it, what will come of it? I'm guessing it was more than an I'm sorry, because we don't usually wait with bated breath for just like, you know what, I said sorry to somebody, I did my best, I hope that cleared it up. That's not quite what this storyline is. This is a huge wish to heal things with that star card sideways. This is the fear of what if this isn't accepted, because there's more to it than that. It's that they put themselves on the line. This was scary. It's still scary for them to wonder what the repercussions are going to be, what the blowback is. Will I hear from them? Why are you so scared, so nervous about, what's she going to say? Seven of Wands, Three of Cups in the reverse, simply because this is the big obstacle. And, it could even be that it's like, well, because whatever she says, if she accepts an apology, if she doesn't, that is going to determine, like if there's this big blockage and I'm never going to speak to her again. What if she never wants to speak to me again? I'm going to have to face that reality. I'm not going to be able to approach again if she doesn't permit me to. If she doesn't want to converse with me, then it's over. Okay, so she has the power to break your heart. Why? Are you in love with her? Or is this just something that you really needed to set right? We have Two of Swords. She is like his greatest adversary, the person that has created the greatest blockage in his mind. I kind of feel like just because of the glasses he's wearing, like he kind of only has like a one-track mind or only has eyes for her or something. A high priestess, Queen of Pentacles. As far as you are concerned, who is he to you? King of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. She says, well, I thought he was my king. I thought he was my match. But then instead of being the king, he was a page. He put in very minimal effort with me, although I had hoped that it would be, my king. Okay. So wait, are you saying you were disappointed he didn't give you as much? Or are you saying he started out as a king and then withdrew until it was just like treating you with very minimal effort? We have the Sun. She says it became very clear. She had absolute clarity. Clarity about what? I don't understand this bit. Ten of Pentacles. She was really happy with him at one point. She was so happy with her or with him. Him, her, it doesn't matter. I don't read for genders, but she was so very happy. She saw a big old future. She saw, I don't know if she was like fantasizing about the house that they'd live in together, the empire that they'd build together, the pets that they'd have together. It feels like she really had an image in her mind of what their life would be like together, and it would be beautiful. Four of Wands. This is the person she most wanted to marry. So why do you see the King of Cups going to the Page of Cups, though? Where did that go? Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups can be a card of overindulgence. She may have said, yes, it was amazing. He was stellar. We talked about marriage. We talked about everything. It was like me and him, we were going to build this stuff. He was all in it to win it. And then I realized maybe he was always just out for the good time, out for, somebody who will say absolutely anything to make a situation or conversation flow really nice. This is very much like a devil may care. I mean, even here is like flipping the cards, like, oh, it's just a big joke. Everything's just a big fun game in life. I don't take it too serious. I mean, sure, I said that we were going to be married and we were going to build this legacy and all that. But then, I mean, yeah, I just said that in the moment because, that's just how it goes. That's what you do to have a good time. Basically you lie. That's not going to go down so well if you play a poker game or something like he's doing here. And then at the end you go, oh, I know it. So we said we were playing for money, but I'm not actually going to pay any of the money that I might have lost to another poker player. Like that wouldn't work in a poker game, right? You can have fun. It's a game, but if you're playing for money, you owe that money if you lose. So you can say that things are fun and it's a game, but even in something like that, the reality is you owe the money at the end of the game and you're not going to be able to shirk that. Same thing in like most things in life. You can't just say stuff and you have no follow through, especially when you're dealing with somebody's heart and you say, oh yeah, we're going to be married. This is going to be so great. And then it's like, oh, I was just kidding though. We were just having a good time. If that's where she was like, oh my God, he said all this stuff, presented amazing, and then turned out to have actually just been a page, somebody who will, pages are the children of the deck. They're very immature. And she says he's more like a good time Charlie. Okay, so that's what she figured out about him. Let me ask this. If he ended up being a good time Charlie, and now he's reaching out to her and he feels like she is what's missing in his life. And he's reaching out with an apology and he's saying she has the power to break my heart here. Let me just ask then, are you no longer a good time Charlie? Are you somebody who's changed? Good time Charlie, good time Charlene, whatever. But we have an 8 of Wands upright. We have the Justice card. We have the King of Pentacles and we have the Ace of Swords. So in his own mind, he's like, I blew this so badly and I did this whole connection wrong. I should have actually been that King of Pentacles. I should have not treated this like it was some big joke. I don't know, there's some like big truth that he wants to confess here. There's some big message that he wants to say. And even here, we have this lion who's like, I should have held her, in my arms. I shouldn't have let her go. I should move directly toward her. So yes, he's, at least in the concept of like knowing what he should have been, who he should have been. I keep feeling like this is somebody who made it like it was a big joke, like the sincerity of a connection, the words that he said. And she might have felt like, wow, I feel like, a fool because I actually took him at his word. I thought we were building something together. I thought he wanted marriage. I thought he wanted those things. If he didn't, then okay, that's, you probably shouldn't say stuff like that. Well, he's agreeing at this point. So I don't know why everything was just kind of like this weird self-indulgent game at one point. Can we see why? Because I don't know why he did that. 10 of Pentacles. It could be just to hopefully get the enjoyment. Maybe this is like somebody who was playing house, it's like, oh yes, we'll pretend that we're in this fantastic connection. Like we're both giving equally. And, it's like somebody who, let's say, goes on vacation and rents a super fancy car and stays in a super fancy place. And like, if you're saying, oh yeah, I'm on vacation, I'm treating myself, that's one thing. But if it's like, oh, I'm on vacation and I'm pretending that this super fancy car is not rented, but it's mine, and that, this is what I do on the daily, it's, then you're posing, right? You can still have those experiences, but be honest about the fact that this is me stepping into this very luxurious, brief moment, but this isn't really the lifestyle I can afford to keep, running with. That, we all do that. We treat ourselves, but we don't usually have a break from reality and pretend like, oh yes, this is, that's my Lamborghini out there. That's my, whatever substitute, whatever super expensive vehicle. We don't pretend that we own it because then it's a lie. It's not, there's things that you don't do. And I'm feeling like he was playing like this is who he was, this is the life he was going to have, because it felt amazing. Just like it feels amazing to go on vacation and have a luxury, experience that you don't have in your daily life, that, you probably can't afford on the daily. That's wonderful. But unfortunately, it's like he vacationed in her life, is what I would say. We have the Star. What's so crazy is, in a really mixed up way, she was this spectacular dream, this spectacular, wish, where it was like, I'm going to act like this can be my life and I could be with her. And she's this, maybe he was like, oh God, she's so gorgeous. She's like a freaking supermodel. And for a hot minute, I'm going to just enjoy the fantasy of like, this is what my life is right now. This is so amazing. I am going to vacation in this moment and act like it can all be mine, because she's absolutely amazing. Sometimes, someone doesn't do something to be a liar or to be rude. They do it, in this case, I mean, still, we could say, we saw the page, so we know it was a juvenile on one hand, but on the other side of it, it wasn't to like insult her or mess with her mind or play games with her so much. It was more like it was such a wonderful escape. With that Knight of Cups, the Knight of Cups has a really bad rap for oftentimes being associated with Eros or Cupid, which is like, the god of like love, who, like it's all about, you sometimes even mischievous, Cupid's arrow strikes and, people fall in love really suddenly, but sometimes it's only for the honeymoon phase. And it's like always questing for that first, rush of thrill and excitement. And it does feel like they got lost in this thrill and this excitement. Not that they didn't sincerely want it, or not that they didn't sincerely want the storyline that they were saying that they were going to build. But I just don't know they had the follow through, or the capacity to actually make that become a reality at that point. The thing that I don't understand is why, if you fall in love with somebody, I mean, and you want to talk about being together, that's not like a vacation or a fantasy. That's just real life, right? That's how life works. You meet somebody, they're amazing, you're amazing, you two are vibing, and now you start talking about something more serious. You start, like leaning into the connection. That isn't like having to save tons and tons of money to be able to buy a mansion. That love story is super attainable. There's not some huge barrier. So that's why I'm not sure I understand why they would have played Fantasyland for a relationship, but been like, oh no, I could only vacation in the Fantasyland of having this amazing connection. What was your barrier to being able to just have that as a real relationship? Page of Pentacles, Two of Wands. Here we go again with the same, the pages when they come up. I don't know if this person, maybe they had a child and they were like, oh, I have all these other responsibilities. I've got to be somewhere for my child. And that's where I have to be. So this was but a wonderful experience. But I mean, there's no way that I can just have some other new relationship or connection, because I have to be, living near my baby's mama or baby daddy so I can be a part of my child's life. I have these responsibilities. I can only have the pretend building the romantic connection with you, but I can't really do it because I actually have these other responsibilities. There was something here, either an immaturity or there was a big responsibility. We see a baby here. So I don't know if this is a situation where they They wanted to like pretend that they were footloose, fancy free, had no responsibilities, could build a brand new life for themselves, when in fact that wasn't really possible, because this Two of Wands says it's not possible. Normally a Two of Wands is, which direction do I want to go? I can go right, I can go left. This says, nope, there's only straight ahead, actually. There is no, this is not a traditional Two of Wands where we have choices. It says the only choice is straightforward. We have Four of Pentacles. I definitely think that they stepped out of their real life and had like a vacation in hers, and then realized, and now I have to go back to my other real life. So maybe they met her on vacation. Maybe that's why I keep saying this. Maybe they were, taking a quick vacation, and it was like, oh my God, I met her on a vacation. It was just like whirlwind romance. It was so amazing. It was so lovely. And, it was like we were in love and we were going to plan this huge future together. But in reality, 7 days later, when vacation's over, I have to go back. And that's where it all ends. Is that the better interpretation of that? Let me just look. Eight of Cups. It was definitely like, yeah, but of course this is going to end. So they walked into this never intending it to be anything long-term, but they did the exact opposite and pretended this is going to be fantastic. Like I said, I think the best analogy is somebody that was, even here, they're trying on a lion's costume, but they're not really a lion. They're not a king of the jungle. They're not somebody who's a king of pentacles. They're dressing up as one. And then they began it knowing full well that they were still going to leave. So it was playing a role. It was playing, they dressed nice. They smelled good. They had great, perfume, cologne. They looked amazing. They were on their vacation. They meet her. It's, fantastic. It's like living a movie for a moment. She's super hot and she's everything they ever wanted. And they're going to like completely like have a fantasy for themselves, knowing full well, yes, but it ends after 7 days and then I leave. They kind of forgot to mention that to her, is what it kind of seems like. I think with that, the reason I'm going to hold to that is because that Justice card and that Ace of Swords, they didn't have anything that they needed to have to offer her something that could last. They were just vacationing in her life. Only I'm guessing that they fell in love for reals. Let me take a look. What is the energy? What ended up happening? Because they're the ones who are like obsessed and still wanting to talk to her. We have the King of Wands in the reverse. We have the Ace of Cups. I think that it has been like, the feel of like when somebody like drags their fingernails down a chalkboard. I feel like that, but on the inside for them. Like this was really unpleasant, really uncomfortable. I feel like they did fall genuinely in love with her. And it's been like extremely unpleasant. Because when you play a role, you get a taste of something that you want. And she was in hook, line, and sinker. She was all about this. And then the thing ends, and then he leaves. It feels like it was, on one hand, extremely shameful also, because he did fall for her, but also now you look like a monster a little bit, that King of Wands in the reverse, super selfish, not loving at all, manipulative, just wanting what you want. And yet now that's how he looks. That's how he came across, because that's how he behaved with a person that he actually fell in love with. So very embarrassing, very cringy for oneself is the way this is coming across to me. We've got a Knight of Pentacles, and he's been sitting in this for quite some time. The cringe-worthy energy here. That Knight of Pentacles sideways is like, oh my God, and she knows me as that, and I know me as that, and this is humiliating, this is super embarrassing. It would be like if, let's go back to the analogy of somebody who like goes on a vacation and they rent some super, super fancy car. 78. Thank you, babe. You're so sweet. Thank you, Angel. You rent a super, super fancy car and you're strutting your stuff. Oh yeah, this is my car. And then let's say the rental company comes to repo it because you didn't have enough money in that credit card that you used to rent it. And now you're, whatever, parked in some fancy swanky place. And there's, all these people that you were just talking to about your fancy car that you own as they pull up to take your car away. And the rental agency is like, you didn't pay for this. You didn't have enough funds. Okay. That's super humiliating, right? That's the equivalent of this right now. Super uncomfortable, super like he's been found out completely. And even though he's been found out, there's still like the necessity of like, why'd I do it? I still have to explain that because you still got to address all this, the explanation, even if she figured out like he's gone. So he said all that and he didn't mean any of it. So he was selfish. He was indulgent. He was lying. He was, did whatever he wanted to get what he wanted from me. So wait, those are the games that he played, like that's what she's left, I think, with acknowledging. And he's gone, holy smokes, this is really shameful. This is really embarrassing. And he's been living in this for a long time. Let me just ask, how much did you know? High Priestess, did you figure this out? We have a 5 of Wands in the reverse. She stopped trying to think about it. Good for her. Letting it go, saying, I'm not going to live in this, like what on earth happened? Yeah. 6 of Swords. She said, I don't need any more answers. I just move on. You look at somebody's actions and you just say, okay, well, whatever was going on in their head, I don't want to get in somebody else's head and try to sort it out. I only know what happened. And so here's the facts. They're not here. They're not around anymore. They said all these things. They didn't follow through. So that means I need to let this go and I need to move on. So actually really great to see her, just moving forward. We have the 9 of discs, pentacles. She is somebody who just turned all of her attention to like a completely like valuable side of her life. She filled her life with things that she's maybe become very successful in. She's expanded. She's like really developed things in her own life, developed her own successes, her money, like it could have been anything. But you notice how she leaned into what will make my life bright, what will make my life blossom. I don't spend time wondering why they did this. So we've spent a bunch of time trying to figure this out, but she didn't. Good for her. Good for this character. Good for her. So at this point, I mean, it says at the very beginning, on the 28th, he's sitting here in a place of loss, but also a place of nervousness and a place of wondering and a place of fear, going, oh man, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Am I going to have happiness again? And now we know she is the High Priestess. She's also the star card. So she could be an Aquarius. She could also have been a Virgo, a Capricorn, or a Taurus with that Queen of Pentacles. But she could have also been a Pisces, Cancer, or Virgo with that High Priestess. So she could have been many things. But at this point, are you aware that he's all nervous over you and he's all worried about whether or not you're going to respond? She's over here playing her flute. She's a flautist. She is completely like singing her songs, playing her music. She could be having a very like musical day. There's music notes everywhere. She's in Queen of Wands energy. Queen of Wands is very unconcerned with what's going on in other people's heads. She's not concerned with what other people think of her. She's not concerned with what's going on externally to her. She's focused on the things she likes, the things she wants to do, the things that she thinks are valuable, the things her heart cares about and wants to, put energy into. So no, I don't see her being like, oh gosh, will I hear from them? Or I'm picking up some kind of energy. Not this, the High Priestess, Queen of Wands. She's tearing up like some kind of like fun, exciting energy. She's going to be having a great day on the 28th. She's going to be having a ball. She has no like energy pulling her down or pulling her back. We've got the Knight of Swords. This is going to come in as probably a big shock because this feels very impulsive. I'm guessing this is them sending whatever message they need to, swords are words and thoughts. And I do feel like they just randomly, I mean, this could come in like 2:15 in the afternoon. They're suddenly like, blah, saying whatever they need to say to her. And then like waiting. Oh my God. Oh my God. Did she get my message? She'll get it. It's coming in fast and it's coming in unexpectedly. And with this 5 of Cups, she pretty much immediately like gets the vibe that they're putting out to her, which is, my cups are empty, please. I always look at a starfish like a hand, and it's like we have this hand that's like reaching out in the middle of this. Like she's like, oh, they're reaching out because look, their abalone shells are empty. They don't have any more meat in them. They don't have, they're in a low place. They feel a vacancy in their life. I don't think, because of those 5 abalone shells, I think she's just like, oh, did they run out of people like to do this to? Maybe did they run out of people? Oh, 10 of Wands. She's like, did they plant flags on, everybody's continent? Sorry, but I'm hearing some Mickey Avalon right now. Jane Fonda. I happen to love Mickey Avalon. He's dirty. Okay. So, and very catchy. I have no problem with dirty lyrics or dirty music. I love all music. I am an artist. I'm very but yes, dirty songs for sure. But sorry, that just popped in my head. It's got a groovy little beat. I don't encourage you to listen to it if you're offended. So, but we have a 4 of Cups. Her assumption is he just ran out of tasty yum-yums. He just ran out of, like other places, other people. It almost looks like she assumes he has, like lots of different people in lots of different places that he, connected to, partied with, played with. Yep, 11-8, spot on. I was going to say it. You beat me to it. You are on my wavelength. Yes. She just assumes he's empty and he wants to come back in for another whatever. In this case, like a bowl of chow mein. Oh, you're hungry for what, leftovers or something. Like she does not have a terrific opinion of this, does she? She's saying, oh yes, he's sad, he's lonely, he's worn out his welcome on other people's doormats, and he's hungry for attention again. I don't see her reaching out to him. Not if that's her opinion of this. I don't see her being like moved and like, oh, how great to hear from him. Princess of Swords. She may actually take a moment and like either like look him up or something, or because this can be the card of gathering information or spying, or she may sit down someplace out in nature and say, universe, let me think about this for a moment. What does this mean? Like, this person reaches out to me, this person who told me, like a future we were going to have, sold me this dream, and then like basically disappeared. What do I need to think about? Because she is sitting here in nature. She's not got like a cell phone. She doesn't seem to be doing spying. She seems to be asking the universe. So let's turn to the universe and say, what's the universe saying to her in response? Universe, what do you have to say to her? Because she's asking for like guidance or information. 9 of Cups. I mean, this is the universe reflecting what she thought of them, which is, I realize he just simply was getting what he wanted out of a situation. It was a big game. It was indulgent on his part. I know he wanted to be with me because at that time I was his party that he wanted to attend. I was his fun. I was his enjoyment. I was his indulgence. And High Priestess, the universe says, and there was a part of you that knew it even then. Which is interesting to see that the universe is like, aha, hang on now. You read his behavior. He was thrilled to be with you, and you saw that and you knew it. You also knew that it seemed to be like he was too maybe all in, maybe like, oh, there were no limits as to, again, if somebody takes themselves on a fancy vacation and it's like, oh, I'm going to shop till I drop, I'm going to buy whatever I want, I'm not going to put a limit on what I'm doing because this is just for a little tiny bit of fun. So I'm going to go way over the top. I'm going to buy, really expensive, over the price that I would normally pay for food, not even flinch, not even worry about it, because this is not the time to worry about it. It's like she saw that trait in him. He was like, there was nothing that was, like no happiness was going to be missed out on. It was a very indulgent energy, and she saw it and she knew it, is what the universe says. And with the Two of Wands on her side now, she even thought something smells wrong here. He's too indulgent. Yes, he's thrilled to be with me, but maybe it didn't ring true to her. Not really even then. And the universe is just gently saying to her, you knew even at that time, something didn't sit right. Something seemed too good to be true. His joy, his happiness, his, devil may care attitude, his like all in attitude it seemed off. She questioned it even then. And she may have even said something along the lines of, either this is going to be an amazing connection and it really is love at first sight, and we're going to go all the way and it's going to be a love story for, a screenplay for a film, or it's absolute BS. She was like on one side or the other. Either this person and I, we're never going to leave each other's side. We're going to have a legacy that we build and it's going to be amazing, or this is going to be a bunch of bunk. And I don't know which it is. But to even say that means she didn't really have trust. But with the Queen of Pentacles, she decided to invest because she's somebody who's like, I'm not going to invest more than what I can afford to lose. But if I don't give something that I really want the best of my energy, then I'll never know how it could have turned out. So I think she went all in, all her chips in. All right, I'm going to take this as if it's serious. And the universe is just saying, you did choose to give it your best shot because that's who you are. You're strong enough to have done that, and that's what you did. 78, you angel. You're so amazing. Thank you for tolerating me. You're so adorable. Thank you, babe. That was so generous. We have a Six of Wands. We have the Two of Coins. You know what? The universe is just saying they didn't actually take anything from you because you are incredibly powerful, incredibly strong, and you decided where you would put your chips in. That was you. You owned this situation. You didn't know if this was something that was really going to last. You had a pretty strong sense that it could be one or the other, but knowing that, you went in eyes wide open and you said, well, I at least won't live with any regrets or wonder, did I blow it because I wasn't super trusting, when I just wanted to see how this thing would go. So I acted like, let me say, if we could be everything to each other, if this could be the one, let me go at it like this is truly, where I want to be, because it is. If this is not just a vacation mode, if this is legit, then yes, I want this. And so I'm going to hold my head up and say, I picked it. Yep, I picked it. Knowing full well, I'll figure out if I chose wisely or not, but I picked it and I own that. I won't live with regrets. And the universe is just saying that to her, maybe because it reminds her that she's no fool. She was never a fool. She didn't get tricked. Not really. You can't trick somebody who knows damn well it might be a trick, but I want to find out. And so now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, so I decided I'm tough enough to handle whatever the outcome is, but I make my choices. I walked in knowing what it could be. I walked in anyway. That's just somebody who's brave and honest. I don't know. To me, it feels like the universe is just like saying, like, remember what you knew at the beginning, and remember that you did what you did because of who you are, and you got nothing to be ashamed about. And at this point, if any part of you still wants to hear what they have to say, you go in with that eyes wide open also. You're no fool. You're no loser. You don't have to judge yourself. You are actually very strong. You do what you want to do. You do the thing you can live with. I think it would be worse to run away from something that you need the answer to because you're like, no, I don't want to look like a fool. That's probably just somebody messing with me. if you're running away from it for fear, then that might be the thing that you would live in regret. She's no coward, man. She's looking right at us. She's always kind of like, she doesn't mess about. She has to know the answer to things. If she still cares at all to find out what more they have to say, she's going to respond. She's going to give them space in her life to at least have a communication. On the other hand, if she's like, yeah, I thought about it, but I'm actually done, then she can close this door and never look back. It's me, Victoria. Thank you, Angel. Oh my God. Thank you so much, sweetheart. You're so generous. Thank you, babe. It feels like, I like the fact that the universe is just reminding her of who and what she is. We got the sun sideways. Always do the thing that you need the answer to. Be direct, be clear, do the thing that's going to give you greatest happiness. And sometimes happiness is relative, right? Sometimes it's like, I would be happier knowing, what are they reaching out to me for? I assume that it's because they just need somebody else to play with, but maybe I'm wrong. If I need to know, and I would be happier knowing than not knowing, then by God, of course, I'm going to say, okay, so I get a message from you. What did you want to say to me? You know, it just says she's the kind of person where she just has to ask herself, which choice would make me happier? She's always going to be direct, and she's always going to want clarity. I think that that's something for her that is like, because we've seen the sun twice around her. I think she's somebody who like wants accuracy and wants truth. Even though she also watches behavior and says, okay, this is the truth that I got from the behavior, so this is the decisions I make. But on the other hand, if somebody has something to say, I think she can't quite leave stones unturned, because where there are stones, there are shadows cast by those stones. And she works with the sun. She brings everything into the light. She would rather have full disclosure on everything than live without full answers on things. So if somebody wants to give her some kind of communication, I don't know. To me, this just says the universe is just reminding her, do the thing that makes you happiest. Hierophant. This Hierophant energy is somebody connecting to their higher self. And remembering every single one of us can connect to our higher self. And we do that at different points in life, and people awaken at different, times in their life, and people grow and change. I mean, it would suck if we had to believe that nobody can grow and change, because it would first, if we put that on ourselves and said, well, who I am, the mistakes I've made, I have to live with that shame for the rest of my life because I did it. I made a mistake. And even though I see it differently now, I can never have a second chance. I can never grow beyond the mistakes that I made. That would be horrible, because think of the amount of mistakes we make in life. Think of it, the amount of things that, we wouldn't do at 17 years old, what we do in our 50s, 60s, and 70s, right? So if we want permission to grow, have made mistakes and changed and evolved, then we have to give that courtesy to others too. And I just kind of think this is not her giving anybody a pass. This is just saying, who knows? Maybe they're enlightened, maybe they're awakened, maybe they have something fantastic to say. And then again, maybe they're the same old, they want to come vacation in my life because they're lonely. Somebody come hold me, make me feel good. I ran out of other options. Can I please cycle back around? I'm making my next, tour, coming back around to every person I've ever, vacationed in their lives. That could be all it is. On the other hand, they could have something very profound to say to her. She won't know unless she listens. And I just think that the universe is pointing out, it doesn't make her a loser. It doesn't make her weak to want to hear what they have to say. So if she wants to, she can listen. If she decides she doesn't need to hear anything, maybe she just wants to say, I hope that you grew. I hope that you have awakened, or there's something different about you than the person that I met. Wish you well, but don't really need to hear anymore. No hard feelings. I've just moved on. I mean, she could close the door that way. And that could be her being very content. I don't think so in this, though. I feel like she's going to be responding on the 28th, or at least as she thinks about stuff. I say that, and then we have the 5 of Swords. I don't know. There is a little bit of an edge here where if she does respond, it may also still be with the, did you want to talk to me about the lies that you told me? Or was there a reason you're reaching out? Like, she may say, you know what, here's how I am going to respond. I'm going to instantly let them know that where we left things, that's still where we left things. There's no passes from me. There's no swept under the rug. So if somebody has changed and they want to face and confront and, make amends, I will let them know point blank. That's the only dialogue you'll be having with me. She could start out not in a hostile way, but picking up exactly where they left off. Oh, did you want to talk to me about how you said you wanted to be married and all that stuff and then you disappeared? Is that why you're reaching out? Like, I could see her being bold enough to do that, because remember, it's clarity. It's not mean. It's not her picking a fight. It's her saying, I only operate in the light. So if I'm thinking it in my head, I'm probably saying it. I don't need to give somebody grace and sweep stuff under the table and, make them comfortable to step back into my world. I can let them know, remember where we left things? That's still where things are. So if that's what you want to talk about, cool. What did you have to say? Like, I could see her being like very formidable, very blunt. Like, you do not mess with this particular queen. You can't do that with her, because she doesn't, I don't think she has any fear of saying what's true for her. I think she's really blunt and still very courteous, but just, she doesn't waste time. If she's all in, she'll give things a real shot. If she doesn't like how something's going, she'll be honest about that. If somebody messes about, she doesn't pretend that didn't happen. She's not a fantasist, which is crazy, because if they were a fantasist, they messed with the wrong person. If they were hoping to have somebody else that would play fantasy games, that is so not her. Everything in her life is very, very real. So final message on this then is simply, if she's responding like that with just a very, simple but bold, sure, I'm assuming you want to talk to me about, the fact that there was there was all of this, you wanted to be a King of Pentacles and all that, and then you disappeared. If you want to talk about that, sure. What did you have to say? I could see her saying it that way. And if that is her response, because that's what it looks like it's going to be, how do they handle it? Nine of Swords sideways, honestly, it could be a huge freaking relief that's exactly what I want to talk about, because I've felt sick over it for all this time. 10 of Swords, 8 of Swords. I mean, all this sword energy, this is them, I kind of think, spilling all the thoughts, all the words that they've wanted to say. They may also assume, oh God, she'll never forgive me. But this actually opens up the stress chamber. And it's like, okay, at least I don't have to pretend that I'm not freaking out about talking to her about this, because she knows exactly what happened. She's not rewriting history. There's no let's pretend certain things didn't occur. She's opening up that chapter immediately. And that kind of is a lead in, at least for him, to deal with all the words, the ending, the stuck energy, the stress, this has been awful. I think this is him fully communicating. I know we do have that 8 of Swords, which would be stuck communication, but I think it's more relating the stuck energy. We have the World, we have the Page of Swords. I don't know. I'm a little torn, because now we have her. It's one of two things. Either he's so flabbergasted that he is just and I can't even say another word to her because I realized nothing is over. I'm so petrified. I think she probably hates me, and that's it. And they just run away and they never say another word to her, in which case they haven't really grown or evolved at all. And she just carries on. Or this is them saying exactly, it's almost a relief that she just called it out. And that's where the conversation begins, is exactly where things left off last time. And it's a lot of talk about a ridiculously awful ending and the stresses and what's actually happened. And then the hope for a new beginning. And maybe, I could see her being very guarded, and saying, well, apparently there's a whole bunch I don't know about you. So I don't know if there's a new beginning exactly, but meeting this person again or talking to them for the first time all over again to see who they actually are. Also for them to get to know who she actually is, because I don't know why they would have chosen her to play a fantasy game with when there's no fantasy in her. She's brave. She'll give something a real whirl. She's adventurous. She goes after what she wants, but she's not a fantasist. So they picked the wrong person to have fantasy land with, even though it might have seemed like she was buying into it, but it wasn't buying into anything fake for her. She was like, well, I want to give this my best shot because if this is great, I would want this. I just feel like they don't maybe know much about her. They don't know what kind of a backbone she's got. They don't know how she's able to operate that way. I think that there's a lot that these two would need to learn about each other. I'm not saying this would be a good matchup. I have no idea. It would depend on like how different they are at this point. That whole fantasist thing is very like, that's why I'm like, I don't see how they would actually be that great of a match. But everybody can mature. Everybody can alter their life and can do things differently. So we're not going to take that away from them. We have the Empress. At the end of the day, she'll make a decision from the Empress's energy flow. Either if she sees them as somebody that she would want in her life, she will allow it. Maybe it's as a friend, maybe it's as a do-over, as a potential romantic partner, but she's going to make a decision as an Empress. Empresses, again, never risk more than what they can afford to lose. Their empire has to be intact. If they welcome something into their world, that has to be something that adds benefit to their universe. So if that's not the case, then it's not going to happen. And it just kind of, to me, comes across like she's very strong. This is a very strong feminine. And I think she's going to be able to identify whether or not they've got the chops to stand beside her and, you know, like build the empire, because she's not talk. She's the real deal. So they've only been talk so far. And even if they've matured, at least to a certain extent, that still doesn't mean that they're ready to be like an emperor. That's a big jump to go from a page to an emperor. They pretended to be a king. They weren't, they were a page. And now we're supposed to think they'd have to be an emperor to be in her world. I don't know that I see that, but again, who am I to say? So we're going to leave this one here because, wow, that got super long. I'm so sorry. I don't know where or how that went. It was going to be like a 12-minute long video. And an hour later, and I'm sure this video won't even process now, and it'll be all bogged down. And oh well, you know what? It's been so nice to hang out with you guys. I don't care. It's so good to see you. Let me go ahead and get 3 cards for a birthday that is on the 28th. Okay, here we go. We've got the 7 of Cups, we have a 6 of Wands, and we have a 5 of Wands. Actually, this says in the next year, we could have a character whose birthday is on the 28th that will have many, many more options open to them. This feels like more options because they'll be more successful than what they've been in the past. They could really, you know, step forward and have like some huge area of like expansion in their life. Maybe they learn a new skill, they get really proficient at something, and it's like, oh, this has opened up new avenues of what I can do. I didn't realize that if I, you know, got this certification, I could add this. I didn't know if I could, you know, learn this and I could do that. But it definitely looks like a character whose life is going to be blossoming. And with that blossoming energy, they could have like one heck of a year, but a lot of choices to be made. But they're choices that are made or being able to be made because they're operating at like this higher level. So whatever this is like the encouragement for a character to like learn as much as they can, get as much education, as much certifications as they can, so that their options open up. And then it's more fun to be able to have to think about how many different things I have to pick from than to be stressing out like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I have no options available. So this says that we have a very competent character who's only going to get more so as the year goes on. Beautiful message on that. You guys, thank you so much for giving this a thumbs up and subscribing. I so appreciate you guys. I see like 90 of you gave it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how much that helps the channel, the videos to circulate. It's kind of like how every free content creator's channel either does succeed or not is based off of whether or not the audience interacts and tells the algorithm that they like it. So, and that's true for everyone. So anytime you're watching content that you enjoy, thank you guys for giving it a thumbs up on behalf of any creator out there. I know I'm not the only one who's, you know, like living on whether or not the algorithm will show our content. So thank you guys so much for sharing your energy here, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Lindsay said, "You're so awesome." Toinette, you angel, thank you, babe. Thank you so much. Air Bubble, you sweetheart. Say hi to your horses. Anna Banana, Ariel Cavell, right back at you, babe. Lots of love to you. Thank you, love. Chrissy, I'm so happy to hear from you. I'm so delighted you are in Thailand and have a wonderful time. You guys are so lovely. Thank you, everyone. Luminous Marina, 11D8. Thanks, babe. So good to see you. Empress Unicorn 111. Hi, sweetie. GR, Nicole. Fees Mystic Faith. Hi, sweetheart. Wonderful to see you. Squish Fish, you're like this. You take your stick and turn over all the stones. I hear you. Dwayne Anderson. Wonderful to see you, babe. Rajiv Sharma. Thanks for being here, babe. Thank you again so much. It's me, Victoria. That was really kind. Thank you. Tech Ellis. Hi, sweetie. Shout out to you in Australia. Samira, great to see you. Manny Bro, hey, hey. Thank you again, 11D8. You guys are so fun. Annie S, nice to see you. Yes, Chrissy. Nani, live in peace. Wonderful to see you. Hi, Yamila. Wonderful to see you, love. Cheryl, glad you made it tonight. Jeannie Vale, always a pleasure, sweetie. I'm just backtracking. Nikki O, hi, sweetheart. You guys, thanks so much. Space My Star Seed, wonderful to see you. BM Leave, hi. Evolutionary Queen, wonderful to see you. Aqua Starman, happy Thanksgiving, hun. Roxanne, always a pleasure, hun. Thank you so much for that. Carrie Wilson, how are you, babe? RT, Yvonne Garcia, Christy Ann, happy Turkey Day to you too. Christy Ann, thank you. Angel Leo Girl, Ray Evelyn, thank you, sweetheart. All the way from Canada. Well, a belated happy kind of Thanksgiving Day, right? You guys have Canada Day the month before us, don't you? So a belated happy Canada Day to you guys. Sierra, wonderful to see you tonight. Hi, Juniper. Victoria Edwards, thank you. Lane Change, The Loud Whisper, Annette Summersby, delighted to have you tonight. And Myra J, you were second in the house. Angel Leo Girl, you were first in the house. Escar, hi, hun. You guys, thanks so much. All right, everybody. Sweet, thank you. Seashells, wonderful to catch you. All right, you guys, I will see you tomorrow, and I will make a little announcement of something extra that we're going to be doing for the holiday season. So lots of love. Thank you, guys. Bye for right now.